All right, Christmas is over. It's time to debate on who's winning the Super Bowl this year. This event hasn't always been a cultural phenomenon, though, and the first Super Bowl is one of the funniest things in sports history once you stop romanticizing it. January 15th, 1967, Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. The NFL and the AFL have agreed to merge, but they still don't like each other at all. They're basically siblings who were forced to share a room and decided the only way to settle it was to fight. So they came up with this game. Champions from each league, Packers versus Chiefs. Winners get bragging rights and can say their league runs football. The name alone tells you how unpolished this whole thing is. It's officially called the AFL NFL World Championship Game. That's not iconic. That's an email subject line. Nobody is chanting that. Then, the Super Bowl name doesn't even exist yet. Lamar Hunt later jokes about his kid's Super Bowl toy, and everyone's like, yeah, sure, whatever, that works. That's how casually the biggest brand in sports history is born. Green Bay shows up with Vince Lombardi, whose mind was created in a football lab, Bart Starr at quarterback, Jim Taylor running people over, and Ray Nitschke looking like he's mad at society. Kansas City shows up with Hank Strom, who's way more loose, way more creative, and very confident. The AFL plays faster, more motion, more ideas, and they want to badly prove they belong in the same room. Now, here's where it immediately goes off the rails. The stadium isn't full. The Coliseum holds over 90,000 people. Around 61,000 show up. You can see empty sections on camera. People had tickets and just didn't bother going. Some fans thought Green Bay was going to steamroll them and didn't care. Others weren't convinced this game mattered yet. They were like, I can miss it. Others were like, I'll catch a score later. That alone is insane knowing what this event turns into. The TV situation somehow gets worse. CBS had the NFL contract, NBC had the AFL contract. Instead of working together, both networks aired the game separately. Different announcers, different camera crews, and different graphics. Still the same football game. If you flipped channels, it felt like you changed dimensions. Nobody shared footage. Nobody synced replays. Absolute chaos by today's standards. Commercials during the game cost about $42,000. That's it. There are companies now spending that much to show a logo for a half second. The game kicks off, and Kansas City actually plays pretty well early. They force turnovers. Lynn Dawson moves the ball. Hank Strom is feeling good. At halftime, it's 14-10 Packers. If you're an AFL fan, the halftime is electric. You're thinking, all right, we're here. This isn't fake. We can hang. Then the second half starts, and Green Bay just slowly squeezes the life out of them. They don't do anything flashy. They don't get cute. They just line up and start leaning on Kansas City. Jim Taylor keeps running. The offensive line keeps winning, and the Chiefs get tired. By the end of it, it's 35-10 Packers. Nobody argues about the refs. The message is clear. Bart Starr plays great and gets named MVP, which is funny because there isn't even an MVP trophy yet in these times. There's no big presentation, no speech, no stage. He just gets acknowledged and probably goes to the shower. Same thing with the championship trophy. The Vince Lombardi trophy doesn't exist yet. Vince Lombardi has no idea his name is going to be on the most famous piece of metal in football history. At the time, it's just a trophy. Important, sure, but not sacred. The money part always messes with people. Packers players get about $15,000. Chiefs players get about $7,500, which sounds cool until you remember inflation and the fact that a lot of these guys still have jobs. Bart Starr sells cars in the off-season. Other guys work construction, insurance, and sales. They play in the biggest football game in the world and then go back to regular life like nothing even happened. No endorsements, no podcast, no ring culture debates. Just knees wrapped in ice and back to work. Halftime entertainment is a marching band and a jet flyover. Everyone claps politely. Nobody ranking performances. Nobody arguing online. They just sit back down. And when the game ends, that's it. No week-long celebration. No endless coverage. No realization of what's coming next. Nobody in that stadium thinks they just witnessed the start of a national obsession. Nobody's predicting billion-dollar TV deals. It's just football. And that's what makes the whole story hilarious. The biggest event in American sports history starts with empty seats, a clunky name, two networks beefing, and players going back to their day jobs afterward. Somehow, that turns into a holiday that shuts down the country every February. Football didn't arrive perfectly formed. It stumbled into greatness, figured things out as it went, and accidentally built the biggest machine in sports, which honestly kind of feels exactly right.